All right, so let's see. Mm. All right, so I'll be sharing my screen. Let me know if you are able to view it clearly. All right, so I guess we can start now. Let me just have a look. Perfect. So basically, TOEFL is a really great exam. It is testing of English foreign language. An internet-based test is nothing but IBT. So here the thing is that this is a very widely accepted test globally from around 13,000 global institutions. Whereas when you compare to other language tests, be it IELTS or PTE or even you can take language cert, these are all around the range of 3,000 or 4,000 institutions. But when we consider TOEFL, it is widely accepted from about 13,000 plus institutes. So it is a really great test. If you are taking this test, you are opening your door for almost every country, and as well as you are eligible to apply for most of the universities without any issue. And it is going to be scored around six bands. So within that six bands, if you are getting 4.5 is also a very good score to get entry in any of the university in any of the country. So let's talk a little bit about the test timings. Basically, if we take IELTS or if you take PT these days or language cert is about 2.5 hours, whereas PT and IELTS are almost 2 hours or 2 hours 15 minutes. But when we consider TOEFL, it is hardly about going to be under 2 hours. If we strictly match the timings, if we are very quick at solving the questions, then it is hardly going to be about 1.5 hours. So it is very easy to manage. There won't be any stress of the timings. As well as the other thing is that you are also going to see that it is going to be about just 3 days of uh, time limit. Okay, within 3 days you are going to get your scores. So this is really important where the PT is failing these days. People are getting scores very lately, and other things that pre-scoring is also having some issues. So this can also be a second option which you can consider if you are applying for any kind of visa. And because this is trusted by almost 100 plus countries, and also it is accepting by 13,000 plus institutions, you have better chance at getting a good edge here. Coming to the next thing, this is a multi-stage adaptive kind of test. Like means, if you are very good at your performance in the beginning of the task, the other questions are going to be according to your level. And as your level of the performance increases, so is going to be an increase in the marking as well. So let's take if a person who is very basic at his levels, if they are practicing, then if they are starting the test with very basic kind of thing, if they end up making two or three mistakes, depending on the level, the next questions will be prepared. So this is going to be really helpful to get your marks accordingly. If you are very good at solving the beginning questions, then the other questions will become a little bit tough. But again, at the same time, the higher the level of the difficulty, the more chances you have to get better marks. Overall, it will be scored out of 120 marks. So out of 120 marks, if we just focus on getting the good scores in the beginning of the task, we are definitely going to get better scores even with a few mistakes here or there. So you might be thinking it is just scored out of 30 marks per each skill, and the total marks is just going to be 120. But here there is flexibility that as the difficulty level of your test increases with your beginning task, you are going to also get better marks for that. So this is a adaptive kind of test which increases your stress as well as it helps you focus more on improving your skills. Okay, so it is going to be really helpful if you want to take the test, which is very quick enough to manage, as well as the scores are also going to be delivered within 3 to 5 working days. So here it reduces the questions while also providing a precise measure of your skills. Then the other thing is that it also keeps you engaged throughout the test. It won't let you feel bored. Okay, so it is constantly keeping you engaged with the test format. Then other thing is that every test taker receives a score which is accepted from all over the world for majority of the countries and for majority of the universities. So this is very fair and it also gives you a straight out understanding of your skills. Then it is backed by decades of the ETS, that means English testing system. It is the oldest uh, introduced test which is still being run. Okay, so it is not like PT or IELTS, which started way back in around 2000, but this is in place since 1986. So it is one of the oldest testing system, and it is much more what you can say as transparent as well as trustworthy kind of thing. So when we talk about other thing here, as I have said in the beginning, this test is only going to be about 1.5 hours. So here you are going to see 4 sections. Reading is going to be about 30 minutes where you are going to complete the words. That means a passage will be provided to you and you have to type the words just like how you do in the fill in the blanks. But here the other thing is that you will be provided with hints as well. So you don't have to entirely think about the answer, but at the same time, you will also be provided with hints so that you can get a clear idea about what kind of context it is talking about. In the beginning of the sentence, you will be finding few of the words, but as you proceed further with the paragraph, you won't be getting the entire word. So you just have to determine based on the context. So that is really good thing. Like it is just like scramble words. Then other thing is you will be provided with daily life kind of passages. You have to just think about it and write the best thing which suits in that passage. Then when we talk about listening responses, you just have to listen to the responses and um, speak about that. Okay, so you will be provided with the audios and you just have to write whatever is missing, just like listening blanks. Then you also have conversations, like what you can say as retail lectures kind of thing. Then another thing is announcements and talks, which are similar to your summarized group discussion. So you just have to listen to it accurately and try to understand as much as you can, and you are able to get better scores in that. Reading and listening are not that much tough, which is the most difficult part in any of the other tests. So here the timing will be 29 minutes. So here it's almost like 1 hour. When we talk about writing, you have to build a sentence. So it is very simple. You will be provided a few words here and there, and you just have to move it here and there, just like how you do it in our drag and drop blanks. It is just like that. So random words will be provided to you. You just have to arrange it in the proper format, which makes a grammatically accurate sense. Then you have to write an email. Email is a bit tough because I would say it is about 7 minutes will be provided to you. Within the 7 minutes, you have to write 100 to 120 words. Writing less than 80 words will not give you better scores, and writing more than 130 words will also not give you better scores. But here, one thing is that it is not mandatory that you always write 100% grammatically accurate sentences. Even if you mess up a little bit here and there, but it is going to be okay. So you just have to understand that whatever you are writing is accurate and it is delivering your response in an accurate way. Okay. If it is just about one or two grammatical kind of mistakes, that can be neglected because writing and speaking are scored by the human evaluators, not directly in front of you, but definitely it will be in the while it is getting scored, it will be evaluated by the humans. So you just have to understand that you have to write an email in 7 minutes of about 100 to 120 words. You can use general kind of structure. There is no issue in that. Then you also have to write about the academic discussion. So here the academic discussion will provide it to you, and you have to write according to all of the point of views of the students. Like what you can say as it is just like a summarized group discussion. So here two people will be two persons point of view will be shared with you as a question. You have to consider that thing. You have to deduce your own conclusion from the discussion among that both two persons, and you have to write your own point of view, including the key points mentioned in the both of the persons. So it is like just summarizing the two persons point of view, and again you are giving your own conclusion on that topic. Speaking is just like how you do our repeat sentences, listen and repeat. That is very simple. And then you will have an interview. Interview is nothing like what you can say as your in the language cert. If you have attended it, you will be able to understand, or if you have taken IELTS, you will be able to understand it. Four questions will be asked to you. Each of the response should be maximum of 45 seconds. So within that four questions, you have to cover all the responses, and it should be just basic kind of thing. No need of high level vocabulary there. Just be natural and speak as accurately as possible to the provided question. So if we take consider all the things, 30 minutes for reading, 29 minutes for listening, 23 minutes for writing, and 8 minutes for speaking. That means if we combine all these things, the test is going to be hardly about 1.5 hours. So it is going to be very easy to manage. All right. I will be dealing with questions at the end. So drop your questions in the chat box. Once we complete the entire presentation, I will be answering your queries. All right. So when we talk about reading, reading task simulates your real world campus life. So it is very basic. We are now going to discuss about the pattern of questions and what is the method of this exam. So basically you will be provided with a paragraph where you have to fill in the missing letters. As I mentioned, you just have to fill in the missing letters to show your grasp of vocabulary and grammar. Depending on the type of grammar, you just have to think about the context and write the words. Then you will be provided daily text of life, which are very common, like menus or invoices, social media posts, or text message changes. So that you have to just look at that, and you have to identify what is the key information. Here, the important thing is names, time, and locations. These are really important to grasp. Then you will be provided with an academic passage where you will be provided with 200 words paragraph. You just have to answer according to that. Whatever is present there, you will be provided with multiple choice questions. You just have to select whichever goes in the best form. All of these things are just there to check your vocabulary, grammar, and how you are able to better understand, read in between the lines kind of thing. Okay, so that will be helpful to see your level of understanding of the English language. So it will be very quick. You will be even provided some kind of emails kind of thing. So this will be really helpful for your academic focus. Then when we talk about listening, it focuses more on the authentic spoken language. That means you just have to listen to a short exchange where you will be picking up the most appropriate response. So you will be provided with an audio. You just have to think what can be the next possible sentence. Then you have to listen to a conversation where it will be talking mostly about shopping, travel, or education kind of topics. You have to think about what can be the best possible answer for that. You will be provided with an announcement where you will be having classroom kind of meetings, or it will be campus kind of meetings. So it will be an announcement. You have to catch the time, date, name. These kind of things are really important. Sometimes it will be telling Professor Gordon will be taking lecture at the physics room at 5 p.m. So questions will be related at what time, at which place, which is the professor. These kind of questions will be asked to you. So you just if you are staying focused throughout the audio announcement, then definitely you won't find any difficulty in selecting the correct answer. Then you will be provided with an academic talk, just like how you will say retail lecture, audio, summarized group discussion. It will be from history, art, or social sciences. You just have to listen to that talk entirely. You can even take notes, and then you can just try to find out the questions related to that. It will be quite easy. I have tried this myself, so it is much better to get better scores. Okay, so here the core skills analyzed in this task is that you are expected to understand which speaker is telling what and predict what kind of next question or answer will be present. Then you have to also understand the connection between different kinds of ideas. So here you will be hearing a lot audios related from North America, UK, and Australia, which are really going to be helpful for your academic um, planning. All right. So when we talk about this thing, writing skills, it focuses more on practical communication rather than just entirely related to grammatical accuracy, like how we have it in the IELTS system. It is not that much accurate thing here. As long as you are able to deliver your wordings accurately and the other person is able to understand it, even with a few details issues of grammar, it is completely understandable. Okay, but it should not be like a complete mess up. Like if you are talking about plural thing, let's take you are writing in this way. Um, he pointed out there are computers on uh, a single table. Okay, or if it's like uh, he is driving cars to the school. Now this is not accurate. How can a single person drive multiple cars to the school? So these kind of uh, blunder mistakes are definitely not going to be helpful to score high. You just have to focus on writing the conveying the correct meaning. That is going to be sufficient in your writing task. So here, as I've informed you, you have to build a sentence. You have to drag and drop the words to form a grammatically accurate sentence here. This will help you test your command of English. Then when we talk about writing email, you have 7 minutes to draft an email. 100 to 120 minutes is fine. In the PT core, they provide you about 9 minutes for 120 words email. But here you have to be just because it is not going to be caring much about the 100% accuracy of the grammar and it is evaluated by the humans. So a little bit mistakes here and there is completely understandable. Okay, so that is one thing. Academic discussion, as I have mentioned, this will be a 10-minute task where you will be provided with like two persons' opinions, and you just have to summarize whatever they are telling, and also you have to add your own point of view as well. Here you have to write 100 to 120 words only. So that is going to be a 10-minute task. Just like how you do your summarized spoken text or your summarized written text kind of thing. Okay. So as we are telling, speaking measures your fluency and intelligibility, like how you are easily you are able to form the sentences on your own and how quickly you are able to respond to a given situation. So it will be a hardly 8 minute kind of thing, unlike PT where you just have to keep on speaking for about 30 to 45 minutes, or be it IELTS where you have to speak for about 15 minutes. For language cert as well, you have to speak for about 15 minutes. So those are very long, and definitely a person who is introvert, they will find it very difficult to stay um, talking continuously for that much amount of time. So this is going to be really helpful for you. You just have to stay focused for 8 minutes and that's it. So here, listening and repeating the sentence, repeat sentence kind of thing. You will be hearing 7 sentences. You just have to repeat them accurately. All right. So depending on the performance, the sentence can become complex or easy depending on your performance. Then you will be provided with an interview where you will be asked four kind of questions. So you just have to answer these questions, and each question should be hardly about 45 minutes, 45 seconds. So within this 45 seconds, it is not mandatory that you have to uh, speak entirely for the 45 seconds. You can also speak for about 30 seconds as well. No problem in that. All right. So this will be looking for how easily you are able to maintain the sentences, and whether you are taking pauses and stops properly, and whether you are maintaining the sentence flow, you are considering the fluency, and whether you are also able to deliver the kind of intonations required for that. If you are not able to do intonation and stresses, speak like a bland kind of thing. Like no need of any kind of intonations. Speak in a monotone way. That is also going to be enough. It is not mandatory that you always speak with kind of enthusiasm. So don't worry about that. So this is going to be really helpful to stay focused, and it will improve your performance because it is hardly going to be about 8 minutes task itself. All right. When we talk about next thing, which is your uh, understanding the band score. So previously it was directly showing between 30 marks, but now you are going to get band score. So depending on the scorings, you are going to get better marks. So this is going to replace the entire numbering scoring system. So currently it is present like this, and you will also be able to find your numerical scorings as well in your report card. So depending on the band levels, you are going to get better opportunities. So if you are able to achieve 6 bands, that means you are at the level of superior English. If you are scoring 5 or 5.5, you are at the level of proficient. If you are scoring till 4.5, you are at the level of competent. Anything lesser than that is according to your uh, desired score. So depending on that thing, you can easily understand. Each of these things will be a mark out of 30. So that means 30 marks in each skill will give you 6 complete bands. All right. So this is very easy for you to express your skill levels to global platforms as well as it will be helpful for convincing your universities and different kinds of countries authorities as well. All right. When we do the comparison between two of these tests, be it IELTS and TOEFL, we will find that TOEFL offers much faster results as well as it has enhanced the technology. It has what you can say has embedded the technology in its format, which is really great thing. Keeping up with the modern technology to help support the learners. So as we have seen, TOEFL is hardly about 1.5 hours, whereas IELTS is going to be about 2 hours 45 minutes, where you won't have the chance to select your speaking date. Like speaking time will be at some other time. It will have some gap. Whereas in the TOEFL, you can even take on the same day, or else if you want, you can register your TOEFL exam, TOEFL speaking till next 14 days after your listening, reading, writing sections. So this is a great flexibility in the TOEFL, but understand that once you complete all 4 sections, then only your results are going to be provided to you. So if you are thinking about taking good amount of time to prepare for speaking, then you can't get the scores faster. First, you have to complete all the modules, then only you can get the proper score report. Then it is a simulated interface. That means depending on the kind of thing, it will be very easy for you to move your mouse here and there according to your requirement. And it will be completely like AI based kind of test, and you will be provided with an online meeting. Okay, it will be like Zoom webinar or kind of thing where you will be interacting with the interlocutor. Whereas in the IELTS, it will be a face to face kind of thing. So a person who is kind of shy, they will find doing IELTS a bit tougher. Speaking will be a bit tough for them. But here in the TOEFL, it is not like that. It will be an online meeting, so you won't have to hesitate a lot. Then 1 to 6 bands, as I mentioned, and 3 days result. Whereas in the IELTS, you have 1 to 9 bands, and it will take easily about 3 to 13 days time. It is a multi-stage adaptive for reading and listening only. So if you are doing good performance in the starting task, the other tasks are going to be much tougher. But as a difficulty level increases, you are also going to get better marks for the single answer. So that is one thing we can think about it. When we talk about IELTS, it is linear and it is a fixed length thing. In the TOEFL, you may get lesser questions if your difficulty level is too high, and you can complete your exam very quickly. Whereas it is not possible in the IELTS. No matter how good you are at your English, you have to sit for the entire 2 hours 45 minutes duration. It is gold standard for US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand as well. And here in the IELTS, it is widely accepted, but not entirely accepted in all of the countries like how it is accepted for TOEFL. TOEFL is accepted in 100 plus countries, whereas IELTS is a little bit lesser than that. Moreover, IELTS covers hardly about, I guess, 8,000 to 9,000 institutes, but whereas TOEFL covers 13,000 plus institutes. So that is a great edge if you are aiming for study visas. Then when we compare with language cert, it is going to be similar to that thing and PTE as well. So if we take consider PTE, it is going to be what, as you know, 2 hours or 2 hours 10 minutes, whereas TOEFL is 1.5 hours, and TOEFL content is more aligned with academic or campus life, which is much better, whereas academic is more related to the professional kind of things. So that is a bit confusing for some people who have not yet adapted to the um, workplace kind of scenarios. When we talk about language cert, it is a kind of thing like you will be provided with speaking and writing, which is completely scored by the AI humans in the language cert, whereas TOEFL provides a proper integrated scoring for reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So this is really helpful for getting accepted by a lot of universities in the world. TOEFL is recognized by 100% of the universities of US, UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. So if you are aiming for any of these things, entire Europe, you can definitely go for TOEFL. So it is using a kind of unique combination of AI scoring as well as human evaluation. So it is really helpful that it embeds all kinds of latest technological things to improve your performance. So depending on your needs, you can definitely go for IELTS, PT, language cert, TOEFL, whatever it may be. When we talk about OET, as you know, OET is strictly related to healthcare exams only. So whereas TOEFL is acceptable for almost all kinds of visas requirements. So taking one test is going to be sufficient for a lot of applications. Whereas if we take OET, it is only going to be limited for your healthcare occupations, and for taking exam for PR kind of thing, again you have to take another exam. So this is a great advantage of taking TOEFL over OET. So OET uses medical vocabulary, whereas TOEFL is very general English, and it is used for lots of degrees and visas, whereas OET is strictly for healthcare professions. When we talk about TOEFL, it covers psychology and history, whereas OET uses medical references, consultations, and letters. TOEFL is for all sorts of background students, whereas OET is exclusively for healthcare people. And it provides a lot of resources as well. Alright, so if you want to aim for Australian immigration, so you just have to, if you are aiming for functional English, which is the basic thing for bringing your spouse at your place, at that time, total score should be just 26. So out of 120 marks, you just have to score 26 marks overall. It is not mandatory that you get 26 in each of that. When we talk about vocational English, which is useful for, you can say, as a trade kind of courses, at that time you just have to get 8 in listening, 8 in reading, 9 in writing, and 14 in speaking. Because in the trade communication, you have to interact a lot with the different clients. So that's why speaking scores are a bit higher. When we talk about competent, it is 16 for listening and reading, 19 for writing and speaking. Proficient is still manageable when compared to um, current PT standards. The changes happening in the PT, you can consider TOEFL for proficient. You just have to get 22 in listening and reading, 26 in writing, and 24 in speaking. A little bit tough with superior because here you have to get 26. But the good thing here is that you just have to get 27 reading. So it is still manageable because you just have to drag and drop and you have to just select the accurate meaning of the sentences, and you will also be provided with multiple choice questions. So here the stress reduces a little bit. When we talk about writing, you have to get 30 in writing, which is a bit tough, but I believe it is still manageable if you are writing, if you are conveying your ideas properly. Then 28 in speaking is still manageable. You just have to keep on speaking and maintain your fluency. It is not mandatory that you always use high level vocabulary. Just go with the flow and hopefully you should be able to get better scores. So that is the entire thing, and you are also it is also acceptable by Australian Home Affairs Department for PR as well. Why should students choose TOEFL? So this is the major reason why people will be considering TOEFL in the near future, because it is reducing the stress. It is hardly going to be 1.5 hour with lesser items, unlike PT where you have 22 items, unlike a language cert where you have 18 items. When we talk about IELTS, it is also having a lot number of items. Whereas when we talk consider about this thing, you are hardly going to see about 10 to 12 tasks in the entire test. So it is very going to be very simple, and it is going to reduce your stress as well. It is pair scoring. It is also using the same AI and human kind of hybrid evaluation. So it is going to give you pair scoring. Once the AI evaluates your responses, it is going to be provided to a human evaluator who will score your responses, and you are going to get final scorecard within 3 to 5 working days. You will also see my best scores. So if you have taken TOEFL 2 times in past 2 years, you will be able to see the best scores in each of the skill. So that is going to give you a clear idea where you have to improve in which kind of skill. And you are also going to find a lot of official resources on the ATS platform for the TOEFL. So there are 3 things that you can help you achieve success in TOEFL. First thing is, as you know, getting familiar with the test format. It is really important that you take a free test on the ETS website. It is going to be 1 or 2 maybe. So you can take kind of mock test. So it is a multi-stage adaptive kind of test. You can get a clear idea about what kind of test it is, what sorts of tasks are present there. It is very similar to IELTS and PT kind of structure only. So you can easily manage it. Focus on tasks, just understand the requirements of each of the tasks, and you are going to ace the exam. So academic kind of thing and email, academic discussion and email have been recently added. So you have to focus on this thing. These are short time tasks, but these are high scoring tasks. Then you can even book your exam 3 days before your test. So there is no issue because you are going to get the results within 3 to 5 days. So we can take this test where millions of students have already taken, and it is the most established test. Um, and I think it is much better when compared to other tests like consider it PT with the changes. Language set it is not currently established yet, but hopefully that will also evolve in the future days. But because it has been long in the industry, we can trust this thing. It will be helpful for you too. get better marks. All right, so let's see if someone has any questions. Okay, how about the templates, sir? Are there any tricks to use it? Yes, definitely you can use Sanjay. You just have to understand how to use that while you are doing the exam. So if you are just focusing on this thing, you are just using the template. You have to understand you are writing it accurately as per the provided task, and it should match with the content. If you are able to do that thing, then definitely you can use structures. Don't use keyword templates, you can use structures. That will be helpful. Yeah, definitely you will have the test centers in Perth as well, Sandeep. So you can use that. Um, Exam fees is more or less similar to IELTS and PT. So it will be almost similar to that. But I believe TOEFL is a bit cheaper when compared to the other tests. I think I have heard it is about 455 or 465 AUD. So unlike PT, which is about 490 AUD, this is going to be a bit cheaper for you. Okay, then I think there are also some options for vouchers as well, which can help you reduce your scores. I'm not sure whether it is available in Australia or not, but I will have a look at that. All right, let me just unmute the participants and you can ask your questions directly. All right, you can unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any. We can answer live. All right, no issues, Sandeep. You can unmute and ask your questions if you have. How can we get practice materials? Okay, so you are going to see the practice materials on the ATS platform, English Testing System. If you just put it on the Google, you will be able to find few resources. But for more resources, especially if you are from India, uh, we can help you get best platform, which is going to be accurately mimicking the exam. Just like how we have platforms for language search and IELTS as well as for PT, we also have the platform for TOEFL testing. So we can help you guide about that. Okay, how many possible points we can get for PR? So if you see, I have just talked about that thing. Depending on the depending on your requirement, you can target these scores. Listening 16, reading 16, writing 19, and speaking 90, which is a bit easier. Out of 30, you have to get this. So it is manageable. For proficient as well, you have a bit of flexibility. 22 in listening, 22 in reading, 26 in writing, and 24 in speaking. For superior scores, you have to get these scores where only, I believe, writing is a bit tough. 30 is a bit tough, but still you can manage it because it is not going to validate your 100% accuracy as it is being evaluated by humans. So even a little bit of mistakes here or there are going to be acceptable. All right, so these are the ish things which you can have a look at that, and it will be helpful for you if you just stay focused throughout the test, and you are definitely going to get better marks in the TOEFL exam. Any more questions? All right. Yes, yes, we do have platform. Uh, First of all, you can just use the this ETS platform. It is going to be helpful for you to understand the pattern of the questions in this test, and then later on you can also inform us. We will let you know how to get the platform. If you are from India, definitely you are going to get at the best price. But if you are from foreign countries, then it is going to be a bit like about 40 USD, I guess, for 1 month. So it is going to be a bit expensive when compared to other platforms. Do you think it is easier to get superior in TOEFL than in PT? I believe yes, because of the issues happening in the PT these days due to the rescoring issues and also the strict evaluation which evolved in the superior since past 14 days. We have hardly seen anyone getting superior with PT in the past 2 weeks. So although we have raised this concern with the Pearson departments as well, hopefully we are going to get some response from them. And if we get that response, I will definitely keep you updated on my social media handles. As you know, we are connected with everyone on WhatsApp. So if we are not present, you can just contact with us on our Facebook or WhatsApp from wherever you can, and we will add you in our groups where we will keep you updated with the latest things, whatever you are able to find out. All right, any more questions? If you have any more, we can answer. All right, no issues. One more person. Yeah. So yes, in Nigeria as well, you will be able to find the test centers as well as I believe the platform is globally available for each and every person. So hopefully you should be able to get the access to the platform with the help of payment. So it won't be an issue for you. All right. I believe we have completed our time. So we can wrap up this meeting. The recording will be available on my official channel, so you can have a look at the YouTube for later on reference. All right, guys, take care. Bye bye.